Feel the vibes.
When your music rocks and your station rocks.
What would I do without your smile?
Ready, set, it's going down.
Right here at Yes Media Academy Radio. The rhythm goes on. We've raised the roof all day, every day.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on Yes News Now from Yes Ma Radio, the first media academy radio in Nigeria. My name is Olatunde Idowu. In the headlines, President Buhari signs 10.8 trillion naira revised 2020 budget. Buhari affirms Magoo's suspension, directs Mohammed Umar to take charge. Oshimbaju's daughter denies owing 800 million naira property. 11 Ondo APC aspirants reject indirect primary. And Lagos lawyer Ibrahim buried. And in sport, Napoli-linked Osimhen dreams of winning the Champions League. Now the news in detail. You're welcome to it. President Muhammadu Buhari today signed the revised 2020 budget of 10.8 trillion naira passed by the National Assembly in June into law. While signing the bill into law, the president explained the revision became necessary because of the weakening effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on the nation's economy. He also told ministries, departments and agencies will be given 50% of their capital allocation by the end of the month. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has affirmed the suspension of Ibrahim Magoo as acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Magoo's suspension by the president, which takes immediate effect, was announced today in a statement from the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. The Minister's Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations, Umar Wandu, who signed the statement, explained that the presidential directive was to allow for an unhindered inquiry by the Presidential Investigation Panel under the Tribunals of Inquiry Act and other relevant laws. He revealed that President Buhari has directed the EFCC Director of Operations, Mohammed Umar, to take charge and oversee the activities of the Commission. According to Gwandu, Umar will oversee EFCC's activities pending the conclusion of the ongoing investigation and further directives in that regard. The presidential panel is investigating the activities of the anti-graft agency under the leadership of Magoo, who has been in police detention since Monday. In the meantime, the suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magoo, who is being investigated over corruption allegation by a special presidential panel, has applied to the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, to be released on bail. Magoo, who has been in detention since his arrest on Monday, requested to be granted bail through a letter sent on his behalf by one of his lawyers, Oluwatosin Ojomo, earlier today. He has been appearing before the panel from the detention of police facilities in Abuja since his arrest. His lawyer's letter, dated July 10th, with the IGP's office acknowledgement stamp bearing the same date, requested that Magoo be granted bail on self-recognition. The Vice President's daughter, Kiki Bajwa, has denied owning a property worth 800 million naira in Highborough, Wuse 2 area of Abuja. Kiki said this in a post on Instagram today. She said the property in question was a rented one. The Vice President's daughter wrote, and I quote, "For me, it is completely unbelievable that a grown man will sit in his home and lie about me. A grown man who possibly has children my age. Like many young women in Nigeria, I work hard." A blogger, Jackson Ude, had alleged that Kiki, who runs a fashion retail outfit in Abuja, owned the property located on Durban Street, Wuse 2. The blogger had tweeted, "How did Kiki Osinbajo, Vice President Osinbajo's daughter, earn 800 million naira she invested in the property housing her Glam the Africa Beauty House in Abuja on 10 Durban Street, Wuse, Abuja?" Uday, who is the publisher of Point Blank News, had also accused Kiki's father, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, of collecting 4 billion naira from the suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magoo, who is being probed by a presidential panel. Osinbajo, however, denied the allegations leveled against him and has asked the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, to probe the United States-based blogger with a view to prosecuting him for criminal defamation. 11 All Progressive Congress APC governorship aspirants today sent a formal letter to the party's caretaker Extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee rejecting the direct mode of primary election on July the 20th. Only Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who is seeking for re-election, did not append his signature on the formal letter submitted to the office of the national chairman of the party in Abuja. The letter dated 8th July 2020 titled "Why Indirect Primary Cannot Be an Option for Ondo State Governorship Primary Election" was submitted by Chief Olushola Oke, one of the aspirants, on behalf of others at the National Chairman's office at about 3:15 p.m. It was gathered the aspirants were reacting to a statement by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) that indirect mode of primary election has been approved for the party's July 28 governorship primaries. The remains of the late lawmaker representing Koshofe Constituency 2 at the Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Tunde Ibrahim, was buried at the Ikoyi Cemetery earlier today. Ibrahim died in the earlier hours of today after a brief illness, was buried according to Islamic rites. He died at the age of 60. It was learned that Ibrahim, who was the assembly spokesperson, had been absent from the assembly complex for 2 weeks. The lawmaker representing Koshofe Constituency 1 in the Lagos Assembly, Sonny Okonlawon, had confirmed Ibrahim's death. 270 Nigerians stranded in Egypt will arrive the country today from Cairo. This is according to the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission (NIDCOM) in a tweet on its handle. The agency said the evacuees who had tested negative to COVID-19 will arrive at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja by 6 p.m. Nigerian time. It also explained that there are 2 foreign nationals aboard the Egypt Air bringing the Nigerians home. Their return comes exactly 1 week after 86 Nigerians arrived the country from Sudan. Chairman of NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, disclosed this in a tweet on her handle, where she said they arrived the country via Air Sudan. According to her, the returnees will go on a 14-day isolation in line with the guidelines set by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC), as well as the Presidential Task Force (PTF) on COVID-19. Also, NIDCOM tweeted on its handle that the returnees had tested negative to COVID-19. On Wednesday, 172 Nigerian citizens arrived Abuja from Uganda and Kenya at about 10:20 a.m. While some of the evacuees disembarked in the nation's capital, others proceeded to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. The Lagos State government has called on residents to take responsibility in the fight against coronavirus in the state. This comes as the Commissioner for Health in Lagos, Professor Akin Abayomi, decried the action of some residents who are not supporting the government's effort to flatten the curve of the virus in the state. In a series of tweets today, Professor Abayomi revealed that a total of 2,191 active cases of COVID-19 in various communities have yet to turn up for admission in the government treatment centers. He explained that the government conducted 910 COVID-19 tests on July 7th, and the result of 150 samples collected returned positive. According to the commissioner, the new cases bring the total number of confirmed cases in Lagos to 11,537 as of Tuesday. You're still listening to Yes News Now from Yes Ma Radio, the first media academy radio. In the world of sports, Lille forward Victor Osimhen has asserted he is keen to win the Champions League at some point in his career. The 21-year-old Nigerian shone brightly for Lille last season, scoring 18 goals in all competition after arriving from Belgian club Charleroi. 2 of those goals came in the Champions League in a 2-1 home loss to Chelsea and a 4-1 defeat at Valencia, with Lille finishing bottom of Group H with a solitary point. 3 Nigerians have won the prestigious tournament. Kanu Nwankwo and Finidi George claimed ultimate honors after Ajax Amsterdam saw off AC Milan in the 1995 final in Vienna, while John Mikel Obi was among the Chelsea contingent that got the better of Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena in 2012. Osimhen, who is heavily linked with Napoli, also insisted he wants to play for a big club and also win trophies with the Super Eagles, where he has earned 8 caps and scored 4 goals. Osimhen credits former Chelsea striker Didier Drogba as one of his idols. The retired Ivory Coast international was the catalyst for the Blues Champions League triumph in 2012, scoring the equalizer in the 88th minute and scoring the decisive penalty in the shootout. Osimhen was the star of the Golden Eagles side that won a record 5th Under-17 World Cup title in 2015, finishing as the tournament's top scorer with 10 goals. And that will be all on Yes News Now, but before I go, let me bring you a recap of the stories we brought to you earlier. In the news, we told you that President Buhari has signed a 10.8 trillion naira revised 2020 budget. Still staying with President Buhari, Buhari affirms Magoo's suspension directs Mohammed Umar to take charge. Osinbajo's daughter denies owing 800 million naira property. And 11 Ondo APC aspirants reject indirect primary. Lagos lawyer Ibrahim buried. And in sports, we told you that Napoli-linked Osimhen dreams of winning the Champions League. The news was produced and edited by Banke Bello Arilewo and delivered by Olatunde Idowu. The Yoruba version of Yes News Now comes up immediately after this. On behalf of the entire transmission team, do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Good evening.